Hey guys, what's up? It's peak week, and as promised, I'm going to go into the ins and outs of what this peak week thing is, what it's all about, and the reasoning behind it. So let's get started. By the time peak week comes along, all of your training for the show should be done. And now you're going to be focused on trying to maximize the way you're going to look on stage by selectively tweaking certain aspects of your biochemistry, namely water, salt, and carbs. Each of these things, salt, water, and glycogen, have significant effects on how your physique will look on stage. Of the three, water deserves perhaps the most attention. If you have too little of it, you can appear small and shrunken on stage. If you have too much of it, you can appear bloated, and your muscles can look smoothed out rather than defined. But if you have just the right amount, and it's in the right place, that is to say, in the muscles where you want it to be, the skin will appear drier and tighter. Muscles, they will bulge out more, creating definition and size. And that's exactly what you want on stage. You want to be cut, dry, large, and defined. So the question is, how do you get enough water in your system and get it to go primarily into the muscles? When we work out, the primary source of energy that a muscle has to fuel itself comes from the glycogen that's stored within it. And alongside this glycogen is water. So a muscle that's full of glycogen is also full of water. The more glycogen there is, the more water. Now, the more water there is in the muscle, the bigger and fuller the muscle is. In order to accomplish this, bodybuilders will typically engage in what's called depletion workouts. These are workouts that are not designed to build muscle, but rather to use up and deplete all the glycogen within the muscle. This is done while simultaneously reducing carb intake to reduce the supply of new glycogen to the muscle. On the evening before the show, carbs are then reintroduced, and the muscles at this point are craving glycogen so much that they will soak up more than they otherwise would in a type of rebound reaction to the deprivation they experienced. This type of overcompensation reaction is the exact thing that is being sought out by the competitor in manipulating their carbs and glycogen supplies. A similar overcompensation reaction is sought as it pertains to the manipulation of sodium. By manipulating sodium, even more water can be channeled into the muscle cells, and this water also has the added benefit of coming from the interstitial space. The idea behind the technique is simple, though it's controversial. 5 days before the show, salt and water intake is incrementally reduced day by day until the contest. The idea is that by show day, the body will be used to trying to hold on to as much salt and water as possible. So on the morning of the show, if you eat a bunch of salt, the body will hold on to much more of it. And this salt, this sodium, will go into the cells, making muscles look even fuller. Additionally, the salt entering the muscle cells will again be followed by water from the interstitial space, making not only the muscles look even more full, but also the skin will appear drier and tighter. The water reduction alongside the sodium attempts to maximize this dryness and tightness. Controversy stems from the fact that when you reduce your sodium and water intake, your adrenal glands will release aldosterone in order to better hold on to the sodium and water that you do have. Since the technique I'm referencing is not an all-out sodium cut, as it attempts to take advantage of an aldosterone-induced rebound by eating a high-sodium meal right before the contest, I'm not too sure where controversy would be with this particular approach. As with dieting though, different approaches work for different people, so all I can say is what worked best for me.